morning. Thank you for being here. We're going to look at buying a new printer for our business, LTR Enterprises. We're currently running out of printer capacity and need to look at our opportunities or what we need to do to keep up with the business world. So if you had to purchase a one-time fee, or if you had to spend a one-time fee of $1,300 to purchase a new printer in order to save $1,000 a month in the next 2 years, would you do it?
Yes.
LT Enterprises needs to look at purchasing a multifunctional printer in order to meet its future projected printing needs. In the next 3 months, we'll need to outsource 5,000 pages a month, which will cost us more than $500 to outsource that unless we buy a new printer. In order to figure out the best printer needed for our business, it's important to understand the background of the business printer, the challenges posed by using the current printer, and do careful research and look at the results that we find in order to weigh the benefits of buying that new printer. Then we can make a recommendation based on our results. Now this picture here is going to talk about the background printer in the business world. So the first printer in the business world just printed just basic information that was entered into the computer, and that was all it was meant to do. It didn't do any fancy stuff like the newer printers do nowadays. The next generation printer made copies and did faxing from existing documents, as well as printed out from computers. And the latest printers, they not only do printing, copying, faxing, they also scan current documents and make electronic transfers to other businesses or people around the world. So basically you can deal with anyone in the world at any time. They're called all-in-one printers, otherwise known as multifunctional printers. Challenges of the current printer that we use. The monthly output of our current printer is only 25,000. We are currently only putting out 25,000 pages a month, but our printer can only handle 30,000 pages, which is fine for now. But in the next 3 months, we have a projected increase of 10,000 pages a month, clearly putting us over our current capacity of 30,000 by 5,000 extra pages, which is not the only difference. We also have in a 2-year period after that, we have another 10,000 pages, not dollars, expected to be printed out too and needed, which will put us up to a 45,000 page printing capacity. And like I said, ours only goes up to 30,000. So we're either going to have to outsource or we're going to have to buy a new printer. Now the pages per minute that our printer puts out right now is currently 21 pages a minute. And of course, if we can increase the pages per minute put out, we'll decrease the cost of associated with time and projected timelines being done. Projects being done sooner, which will also reduce costs. So, speaking of costs, if we don't buy a new printer, we'll need to outsource our projects, which will cost 10 cents a copy to do that, which is for 5,000 pages, $500 a month. For 15,000 pages, it's $1,500 a month. So that's why we need to look at it if spending the $1,300 is worth it in the long run compared to what our expenses will be in the future. So to come up to this decision, we looked at different research methods. First, we had to go with Staples as a company to buy the computer with. This was pretty much decided in a board meeting with LTR Enterprises board members. They actually budgeted $1,300 in that meeting to purchase a new printer because we made them aware that there was going to be a situation with the expected projected increase in the output of our printed requirements. And we also talked about since we were going with Staples, which kind of limited us where we could get printers, we needed to look more at what our features on the printer were, what needed to be done to accomplish what we wanted to accomplish. When we did do some looking at Staples, because we kind of had a little bit of an idea that we wanted to keep, of course, the price had to be within our cost limit, which is $1,300. We knew we needed at least a minimum capacity of 45,000 pages to keep up with our expected capacity. And we also knew that if we could increase the pages per minute, it would reduce costs in the long run. So as you can see, the HPM 476 LaserJet printer costs $629, so $630. It only prints 40,000 pages a minute, which would work for a little while, but will not meet the capacity and the 2-year limit that we were looking at. Does print out 21 to 30 pages per minute, so it is increase. I mean, and we're not losing anything there, so that's a good thing. So the price is right. Pages output is okay now, but in the long run will not be. Then we have the HP LaserJet Pro M57DN color multifunctional printer. That's $1,000 a month if you round it up. It does put out 75,000 pages a month, which is clearly within and above what we expect in the future in the next 2 years. And it also puts 31 to 40 pages per minute that it can print. It definitely is an increase over the 21 that we currently print per minute.
That's not $1,000 per month, though. It's $1,000 for the printer. Is that correct?
Correct. That's a one-time fee. These are one-time fees of purchasing them from Staples. Yep.
So that printer would definitely last for a while.
Correct. And the other printer was chosen because it also was closest to the needs of the ones that were available through Staples. Like I said, we were limited in what we were going to do if we're sticking with Staples. The reason they chose Staples is because they've been very happy with their service and repair, the maintenance jobs done with Staples, and they would like to keep that contract with them. But that's something else that we can talk about later as we discuss. So now we're going to talk about the different other research methods we used. We needed, since we had a biased company like Staples, and we only had that limited ability, we had to look at how to decide from the choices we had available to us. So we went to PC Magazine, and we looked at the 2014 edition written by Mandrala Ragazza. Sorry if I didn't say that correctly. PC Magazine is an independent technology magazine for those that don't know. And in that article, Ragazza talked about how it was important to know the intended purpose of your printer when you decide. So our business has 12 people that would be using this printer daily, putting out 5,000 more extra pages, like within the next, or 10,000 more extra pages in the next 3 months, putting us over our limit. So these people need to have easy access to this. Both of these provide easy access. They're easy to use. We also needed to find out what kind of use we were going to use out of it. We wanted the multifunctional printer, as we discussed, because we wanted to be able to do printing, copying, faxing, and scanning. In the business world now, scanning is becoming a huge part of that. Going paperless is a big thing, and these both will provide that.
They scan both sides?
They do provide what's called duplex printing. It's not on here, but when we did our research, we did find that out, and it does scan both sides. And I believe they both provide stapling ability too. They have staplers right in them. It's also what that was mentioned in the PC Magazine is it's important to understand the features. In that magazine, it didn't really go into talking about the different features. So then we looked at PC World, the online printing guide, written in 2011 by Ryo. And again, PC World's an independent magazine for technology. And let's see, this is table 2. So in table 2 here, is the different jargon, and that was one of the things they talked about in this magazine, that it's important to know the different jargon because it makes it easier, obviously, to decide what you want for your computer. So we compared inkjet printers and LaserJet printers, and The inkjet squirts ink through the holes of the printer head, and it's really good for printing photos and other things like that, but it can be expensive, the ink can, to replace. We don't use a lot of photos in our business. It's more of text and graphics. The LaserJet printer, we've learned through our research, is better for that. It's faster than the inkjet printers, and the costs are less to buy the ink for that too. Also, there's different kinds of printers. There's a multifunctional printer, which is what we talked about. It prints copies, faxes, and scans. You can still buy the basic printer, but then you have all those different devices, so then you have expenses there if you're going to upkeep all those different devices. That's why we're looking at the multi-printer. We want to phase out the other devices, saving costs of maintenance and space saving. There's a monochrome printer. It just prints plain black and white text, simple logos and a few straight lines. It doesn't really work for our business because we do have the graphics that tend to be color. It provides more detail to the people that we're printing for. And then the color printer, which you can combine color printer and the multifunctional printer, which is what we're going to do. It adds a lot more detail to the document. So that's why we chose those other two printers that we were talking about. So this brings us the results of our research and decisions that we've kind of come up with as our committee when we met. Purchasing, we need to purchase from Staples. That was not a choice. That was a given as of right now. That's what the board has chosen. We want the multifunctional printer that does the printing, copying, faxing, and scanning. By doing that too, we can get rid of the existing devices, the faxes, the fax machine, the copy machine, and the printer that we currently have. And then we'll have those still available in one printer, saving space, but we're also gaining the scanning ability that's in this computer, which is what is the big thing now in the world, to cut down on all the actual paper reading and printing. Yes, I realize we're still going to be doing a lot of printing, but we're looking at, not just now, but in the long-term future, that eventually a lot of that stuff's going to be phased out. And that option's not available in the printer we have currently, so that's not even an option to keep our printer we currently have. Cutting costs, we'll cut paper costs and printing costs of ink and stuff by having the scanning ability and be able to quickly transfer important documents electronically via the electronical transmissions, so that our information is available anywhere in the world just at a touch of fingertip. The laser printer prints, according to Ragazza and PC Magazine, prints high quality text and graphics that is better than the inkjet printers. Thus, that's another reason we chose the laser printer. We need to output at least 45 pages a month in the next 2 years as our projected. So that kind of puts us in between the two printers that we chose. So we'll have to look at that a little closer. Color, we definitely chose the color printer with the multifunctional because of the text and graphics. And then we need a minimum of 21 pages per minute because we don't want to lose that. Both of these printers provide more than that, which is what we're hoping, because we could reduce the cost. And both of them meet the budget of the $1,300 that we have available. Now, the benefits of buying a color multi-laser jet printer. They're faster and easier for people to use, so our 12 employees will have that access quickly and easily right at their fingertips. They don't have to go someplace else or outsource it when we do go over what we're going to be using now. We can dispose of the devices we currently have, thus reducing the cost, just like we were just talking about as a result, reducing the cost of maintenance and saving money and space. So we may be able to move other things in those areas that we currently don't have, or put an extra person in there in the future if we need to hire someone else. And there won't be any outsourcing associated with, which would save $500 to $1,500 a month just for outsourcing. The printer that we're looking at purchasing costs less than the $1,300, which is allotted, although you do have to figure tax in there, so it'll probably bring us close to that. And like I just said, we already have $1,300 budgeted for the,
That's only a one-time fee, it's not a per month fee.
correct,
So
right.
that's
It's a
large
huge
savings.
savings, correct, when you look at all that.
Is there a warranty on those?
There is a warranty. We didn't look overly close at that because we needed to cover more things. I do have recommendation here, and I'm sorry for a pause for just a minute. Somehow my cards got out of place there. There we go. Anyways, there is a warranty. They're pretty basic. Like I said, I didn't look too close at that because Staples, that's the company we went with. No matter which one, the warranty was pretty the same. That is one thing that I did, and we'll mention in our recommendation that we have to look a little closer at some of that stuff. We're just getting an idea of what maybe the best printers that were available. And so far, these were the two printers that we had, that we looked at with the choices of what we picked out with talking to the board and the employees, what they needed, which is the printing output capacity a month, what they needed for text and graphic abilities, and to keep the costs within the limits.
Who services the printer then if you have trouble with it?
That would be Staples, and that's why they want to go with Staples, because
And
they
they're good with it?
yeah, they're very good with it. They currently have the contract with them now, and that's one of the reasons that the board chose to stay with
So
them.
they're very good servicing.
Correct, correct. So, conclusion here. The multifunctional printer has made great strides in the business world today. The device can replace all the existing printers, copiers, faxes, machines that are out there, saving the costs maintenance-wise and thus saving space. And you won't have all the different inks that you're paying for and stuff like that. Current printer will not be able to keep up with the expected demand in the next 3 months. So we need to look at outsourcing within a 3-month period to keep up with the assignments demanded by our company. In addition to the next 3 months, it's important to look at the long-term expected future, and we know looking out 2 to 5 years, especially within the 2-year limit, that we're expecting to put out more pages yet, another 10,000 more in the next 2 years, so that goes up 20,000 from where we currently are if you add the 3 months plus the 2 years on top of it, putting us up to 45,000 pages a month. So buying a new printer would save costs associated with outsourcing, because that would cost us between $500 to $1,500 a month just for outsourcing, where the printer, we already have money budgeted to buy a new printer for $1,300. That's a one-time fee that we'd have to pay, so that's an advantage. As the IT manager at LTR Enterprises, it's my duty to weigh the pros and cons of purchasing new technology for the business. I had to look at all the different options available in today's market. With the limited ability that I had to look at Staples, that's what they wanted me to start out with. That's what we chose to, we had to follow the board because they're our governing body. I had to follow their guidelines that they set forth and meet the budgeting requirements and purchasing requirements that they had. So my recommendation is based on the allotted $1,300 budgeted for the new printer, and the fact that our printer will be inadequate in less than 3 months to handle our future printing requirements. And therefore we are recommending which I don't think I wrote on there. We are recommending the HP LaserJet Pro M570 DN color multifunctional printer that costs a one-time fee of $1,000. Which is within our $1,300 budget allotment. If you throw tax in there too, I didn't quite figure it out, but I know that'll be within
$55.
Yeah, so it'll be well within that limit. It has the ability to put 75 pages per month out, or 75,000 pages per month out, which is well within the 45,000 pages that we expect to have to put out within the next 2 years, giving us the ability to still add on and expand our business that way. In addition, it puts out 31 to 40 pages per minute. 31 is usually the color pages, 40 is usually black and white pages, so that's an increase from where our current capability is 21 pages per minute for color and black and white. And they're again reducing time and saving expenses that way. And then the only other thing is, if you have any questions about terms, I do have a glossary here that we could look closer at, but I think I touched most of that. IT, which I actually changed in my speech. I explained IT is the internet information technology, and that's what I do.
What's the longevity of these printers? I mean, how long do they usually last?
With maintenance, they last, well, it varies. I actually didn't look that close, but I know just from being around them, they seem to last at least 3 to 5 years, which still is gonna, if you add the price in there for what we're paying for it and what it would cost us to outsourcing is
Right.
greater. But it may be longer. It depends on how well they're serviced, and and there's only 12 people, so that helps. I don't remember. I know they had the capability of going more than 12 people, so each machine actually is, I think, for 15 or more people. So they
They get used.
They get
They have
used.
the capability of running all night long, then taking in messages that are coming in from.
That's it. The fax machine can pick up anytime. Yeah,
Okay.
it sure can. So yeah, and it will store it on the machine. You can always look up faxes that have been sent out or jobs that have been even
Right.
scanned and sent out too. So you can pull that stuff off of there, and you can get a report that way too from it if you need to. So, is there any other questions? Otherwise, if people could, let's see here. Oh, contact needs to, the other thing while you're kind of discussing, you brought up something about a warranty. We have to look at a few other things. We need to contact Staples, of course, because all this information from Staples was gained on their online site. So we need to actually contact them. See, we might even be able to get a better deal with them. This is just what their going rate is, because since we do have the contract and we've been in business with them for so long, we may actually even be able to get the printer cheaper, especially if they know we're signing a contract with them. We just have to negotiate that. So that would be the other thing. So, any other questions right now?
What do you do with your old machines?
A lot of times they will take them from you, and some places will charge a fee and others won't. I know Best Buy, for example, they'll take up your old printers even from your home. They'll take those. I think one or two things they'll take equipment without charging a fee. That would be something with Staples we would negotiate in there. I don't foresee them charging us anything for that.
You would think they would, because you already got a
With
contract
with our
with them.
contract and everything, in the past, they've not done that. They've just included with taking it away. And thus, that,
I would check though with them to find out if the warranties, what the warranty is on it. I'm a little concerned about that because the Staple honored the warranty. Will they, if any part breaks? the
Yeah.
Staple-
currently,
Yeah,
that's
we'll
how
take
that's how it is now, yeah. And we would buy through them, and then we're keeping their service contracts through them, is because we have been.
So the
so
service
happy.
contract is like a warranty in other words?
Yeah, they come in and do the maintenance, repairs and everything like that, yeah.
Okay.
That would be all figured in. That's why the board chose to stick with them, is because they've been happy with their services.
It sounds like that would be the one I would choose also, as long as the service contract
Right.
would be a good
Oh, the
contract.
price is right,
Yes.
because you actually got it paid for in 2 months.
Right.
Because $500 a month outsourcing, that's 2 months.
Yes,
So you get
Right.
10 months of free.
Exactly.
yeah.
And we're talking about this will last for with it for at least that 2 years that we were looking to project it, but it'll last way longer than that.
Yeah.
Because it's fewer people using
So
it.
you're gonna save, just with outsourcing $500 a month in 3 months, over 2 years, you're gonna save a lot of money.
And its output can go up to 7,500,
So,
75,000, so it's going to last
Right.
for quite a while, I believe.
Right. So anyways, if you guys kind of weigh this over, if you have any other ideas that you come up with and need to let us know, we can look a little deeper. Like I said, we need to make contact with Staples to negotiate, but this is what we're looking at right now.
well, would Staples send somebody over to sit down with us and talk about it?
Yeah, they would be willing to do that. They've done that in the past.
That way everybody can kind of get a feel of what,
Right. This is just the initial research that we did that company asked us to do, and that's, we wanted to show you what we came up with so far and get input from everyone else. Okay, so if you guys can get back to us within the next couple weeks and let us know what you decide, and if you have any other recommendations for us, let us know and we'll take it from there.
Thank you, Tina.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you.
thank you very much for your time.